Yo, and thanks to my subscribers. Okay, this came out today. This stuff is unreal, man. It's not a very long article. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pretty much do the whole thing. Links will be below. So, electromagnetic radiation from power lines and foam masts poses credible threat to wildlife, report finds. Well, use your brain, okay? If it's harmful to that, it's harmful to us. Electromagnetic radiation from power lines, Wi-Fi, phone masts, and broadcast transmitters pose a credible threat to wildlife, a new report suggests, as environmentalists warn the 5G rollout could cause greater harm. The stuff it's not good for us. An analysis of 97 studies by the EU-funded review body Eclipse, gotta love that, man, concluded that radiation is a potential risk to insect and bird orientation and plant health. However, the charity BugLife warned that despite good evidence of the harms, there was little research ongoing to assess the impact or apply pollution limits. Well, that's a problem right there in itself. The charity said serious impacts on the environment could not be ruled out and called for 5G transmitters to be placed away from streetlights which attract insects or areas where they could harm wildlife. How about we put them next to a bunch of daycare centers and schools, like kindergartens? Let's just do that. Matt Charlo, CEO of BugLife, said we apply limits to all types of pollution to protect the habitability of our environment, but as yet, even in Europe, the safe limits of electromagnetic radiation have not been determined, let alone applied. Red flag, ding, 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 red flag, ooga, ooga, right, bro? What? The people just don't, see, we're asleep, man. I don't care what anybody says. Asleep, knocked out, comatose. Asking for all this shit. There is a credible risk that 5G impact could significantly impact wildlife, and that placing transmitters on LED street lamps, which attract nocturnal insects such as moths, increase exposure and thereby risk. Therefore, we call for all 5G pilots to include detailed studies of their influence on impacts on wildlife and for the results of those studies to be made public. But I bet you there won't be that, period. In particular, there is a need to base future research on sound, high-quality replicable experience so that credible, transparent, and easily accessible evidence can inform society and policymakers to make decisions and frame their policies. Okay, we just had Donald Trump himself come out with that last omnibus bill saying no one even read it. No one's reading this stuff. People aren't reading this shit. The politicians themselves, the presidents themselves. What was it, Nancy Pelosi? That one really famous soundbite they used from her all those years ago about, I don't quote me in all this, but it was something major like Obamacare or something huge. And she said, we have to pass it first and then read what's in it later to find out what we passed. No one's doing this shit. And we're literally, look, and the same people who are even saying this stuff is safe, whether it be the vaccinations, regardless of what it is, are the same people that are either rolling this shit out or are funding it. I mean, it's amazing to me that we can't put this together. And, I mean, talk about, you're just asking, we're just, hey, cook us, guys. Yep, put the stuff around us and cook us, because you say it's safe, and hey, we're good. And I love how it's like no respect for mom. You know what I mean? Like, let's just, hey, it's bad for wildlife, but hey, that's okay because they say it's good for us, it's okay. But it's bad for nature. You know, Mother Earth, she doesn't need us. She'll be just fine without us. We need her. And everybody just loves to just crap on her. It's sickening, man. And look at this shit. 9 out of 10, this is World Health Organization. 9 out of 10 people worldwide breathe polluted air, but more countries are taking action. Air pollution levels remain dangerously high in many parts of the world. New data from WHO shows that 9 out of 10 people breathe air containing high levels of pollutants. Billions of viruses are falling to the earth right now. All this stuff, the radiation, cancer rates skyrocketing, autism skyrocketing. The cosmic rays, the cosmic radiation itself is skyrocketing that's coming from the sun. That's why you have all this volcanic activity, these bigger earthquakes, all this records flooding and rainfall. There's no one that can convince me. I've seen the data itself from all that. That's all their own data. And they tell you that the sun's going to go out or it's going to blow up or whatever. They just tell you it's billions from years from now. Right. So it catch you off guard and scare the shit out of you. Just like everything. Ah, don't worry about it. It's long term. Who cares? No one plans ahead anymore. Plans for the future, nothing like that. Don't even think past 5 minutes from now. And yeah, that living in the moment stuff is great and all. You're supposed to do that too. But you're not just supposed to put this stuff in the back of your mind, even though you can see for yourself that things are changing and things ain't right. The weather itself, I laugh every night. I just did it because I do it every day. Man, we've been violently away from normal, average temperatures for at least a year. I just was on it last night. I look every day. Looked on it this morning. Average, where we're at, or normal, and then where we're at. Like, we're talking like 10-degree difference almost every time. This stuff is literally changing right in front of our faces, and no one's even thinking about think of how much your life, the last 20 years, regardless. What technology, I mean, holy cussing cow, man. This is a true story. And I didn't intend to do this, but I promote myself now. I'm in a band and everything, just putting an album out. This is a true story. And I'm kind of getting off subject here, but it all goes along with it. I started recording music in 2015. And by the time I had 2 songs that were recorded to where they were actually presentable to other people, I, I had every intention of burning them on a disc and handing them out, right? Which is what I'm doing anyway. But whenever it was first recorded, and I told the drummer, I was like, "Hey, man, our stuff's ready to listen. I'll get you a CD and you can listen to it, and check it out." Because he drove about a half hour or some to work every day across the river here, and so I was like, "Hey, you can listen to it on your way back and forth from work, pick it out, and we can fix whatever needs to be fixed." He was like, "I don't have a CD player in my car." I said, "What do you mean you don't have a CD player in your car?" He's like, "Yeah, I got like a 2013 or 2014, something like that." Yeah, a lot of these newer cars, they don't have CD players in them. In my mind, completely, I had no idea. So I went around and asked people at work, "Oh yeah, a lot of these newer cars, nope, don't have CD players in them." So whenever I was in high school, CDs were brand new, man. Like that stuff for where everybody could afford to get one, like that technology came and went in like 20 years. Like unbelievable to me. Not even digital downloads are gone. Now it's just streaming for music. Like I mean, talk about a changing landscape right in front of our eyes. Blows my mind. So anyway, they tell you, "Oh, don't worry about the sun. Don't worry about any of this stuff. It's billions of years down the road. Don't worry about it." So you're caught off guard, scared like shit, going anywhere and everywhere for answers, and guess what? They'll be right there, standing in for God like they do all the time, standing right in between, blocking the way, right between those 2 pillars, saying, "Yeah, baby, come to us, come to us." It's like all the stuff with martial law. People, "Oh, there's so many more of us than there are for them with martial law. That'll never work." We will ask for it. It's not like they're just going to come in strong arming communities. Well, in some instances they might. But they're not even going to have to because people will be begging for it. Silly, man. Stuff's silly. So anyway. Back to all this stuff. This radiation, these microwaves, these cell phones, these 5G. I don't care what anyone says, man. This is the air magic. We've been controlled by magic since we've been here. It was earth magic, then it was fire magic, then it was water magic, now it's going to be air magic. This is the air magic that's being used to control us. Just like in the zodiac wheel. Taurus was Egypt, that's earth. Then it was Asia, that's fire. Then it was water, that's Pisces. Now it's air, it's Aquarius. We have now done and will be finishing a complete circle, a complete completion of this cycle. But this cycle is in a whole other cycle because, like with the solar eclipses and the lunar eclipses, these are all cycles within cycles. So we're completing a full spin on the wheel because we've had earth, fire, water, and now we're going to be experiencing this air magic that's going to control us and has been controlling us. But it's really going to make itself known now in this age of Aquarius that we just entered a few months ago officially. That's why you see, I've shown you 1,000 times in the Mayan calendar, man, it's got the fish in its mouth because the end of the Mayan calendar, the end of the age of Pisces is over. Happened in 2010, 2012, whatever you want to, whatever, depending on where you look, what legend you use. And now we're transitioning or in the age of Aquarius, depending on how you look at it, regardless. So that's what I think all this stuff is. All this cosmic radiation, all this electromagnetic radiation, this radiation is part of the air magic that's being used to control us. It's dumbing us down, it's cooking us, it's making us not, it's it's killing us. And you got the same people that are saying it's safe, they're ruling it out or funding it, so they can't be honest with you, because then you don't want their stuff. Then you don't want their supposedly bigger, badder network to run all your devices better and smoother. That's all horse shit. I think that's it for today. Yep, okay, so please check my band out, streaming for free. The link's below. Thanks to everybody for watching.